On YouTube, yes. YouTube. YouTube. No, 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 no.
No, sorry. YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
YouTube. I thought I was in a bad comedy sketch. YouTube? No, YouTube. No, YouTube. No, you.
What do you want me to do? Thank you.
Bye.
בשנה הבאה נשב על המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. כמה נשב על ההרפס בשנה הנודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה
עושה שלום במרומיו
ישראל בטח בהשם עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל 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 בטח בהשם ישראל 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 עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל 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 בטח בהשם ישראל 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 עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל ישראל בטח בהשם עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל ישראל בטח בהשם עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל 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 בטח בהשם ישראל 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 עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל 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 בטח בהשם ישראל 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 עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל ישראל בטח בהשם עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל ישראל בטח בהשם עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל 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 בטח בהשם ישראל 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 עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל 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 בטח בהשם ישראל 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 עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל 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 בטח בהשם ישראל 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 עזרם ומגינם הוא ישראל 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 בטח בהשם ישראל 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 עזרם ומגינם הוא.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. We are welcoming everybody who is here with us in Erie or wherever you're from as we create this very special sacred space of Shabbat with all of our friends and our families. And so as we begin, we'll invite our upcoming Bat Mitzvah, Rachel Gardner, forward to light our Shabbat candles. Page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We are in this period of time in which it happens between Pesach and Shavuot. And Shavuot is a time where we celebrate the receiving of Torah. And so we count those days. We count those days between the beginnings of freedom and our ultimate purpose of becoming free, which is receiving Torah. And so as we count those days of the Omer, we turn together to page 278. And we say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. And we count the Omer by progressive days, and so today is, here we go, Hayom Esrim Yom Shehem Shnei Shvuot V'Shisha Yamim LaOmer. Today is the 20th day, which is 2 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. And as we turn together to Lecha Dodi on page 10, or no, Hine Matov? Maya Fehayom. Maya Fehayom on page 10. Page 10. How beautiful, how wonderful it is for all of us to be together. And I want to thank Brad Ford and Sophia and Sabrina for helping out in our sound and AV booth and joining our service. Even if you're on the very other side of the social hall, we can still see you and wave. And our two upcoming bar and bat mitzvah students and their families, Rachel and Gabe.
There we go. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
And as we welcome Shabbat into our lives, into our hearts, we turn to page 20. And we join together in Lecha Dodi as we welcome Shabbat into our hearts.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavela.
Shabbat into our hearts.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishbiyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, v'shem u'tiferet le'li tila. Lecha
On page 22, we join in Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, a song for Shabbat. As we bring Shabbat into our hearts, we do it primarily with song, and we're thankful that Jesse is here doing that with us. Thank you. And as these songs and these psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, as we work our way through them, they transform our space and our time in our experience. We transform into the world of Shabbat, the world that isn't complicated with these stresses of the week, and is a little quieter, is a little happier, and is a little bit more filled with the love that we share with each other. And the right key.
Is this the right key?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're gonna
How would I know whether there's a right key?
He's much. No, that's not right. Sorry. He's Moshir Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot L'Adonai, Uzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Uzamer L'Shimcha Elyon. He's Moshir Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot L'Adonai, Uzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Uzamer L'Shimcha Elyon.
And we turn together to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem, our words of welcome. So if you haven't had the opportunity yet, please send a Shabbat greeting in our text. We say, Shalom Aleichem, may peace be on you, and the response is, Aleichem Shalom, and on you may there be peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzeinchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn now to page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadav, Yitkadav Shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei.
B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho Beit Yisrael Bagala, Bagala Uvizman Ka'ariv Vimeru
Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Olam Me'amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitba'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Kudashah, Barichu, Le'la min kol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'alma, V'yimaru, Amen. Yai la 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 la, Yai la 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 la, Yai la 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 la, Yai la 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 la, Yai la 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 la, Yai la 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 la, Yai la 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 la, Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
On page 30, we join in Ma'ariv Aravim, a prayer that acknowledges the incredible complexities and mystery of the work of creation, the stars in their constellations, the planets in their rotations, and the beauty of the creative process that we all enjoy every day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem b'rakia kirtzono. Bore yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Uma avir yom umevi layla. Umavdil ben yom uven layla. Adonai tzavaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Everlasting love, you have offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Ahavat olam med Yisrael, Amcha avta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadata, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, Ukumeinu nahasiach bechukecha, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
And we invite Rachel forward to help lead us in the Shema and V'ahavta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vayed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinanta levanecha v'dibarta ba'am B'shivtecha, b'vetecha, uv'lechtecha, v'derech, u'shechbecha, uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'chayu letotefot bein einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha Leman tizkeru Vasitem et kol mitzvotai V'hayetem kedoshim lechem Ani Adonai Elchechem Asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Lehiyot lachem, le'elohim, ani Adonai Elchechem.
Adonai
Elchechem, emet.
Yasher Koach, thank you. Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is a way to get from here to there. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot, O Sefele, Nora tehilot, O Sefele, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, Malchutecha Okay, I am lifnei Moshe, ze li anu ve'amru, ze li anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed.
Page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu el kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu el kol amo Yisrael.
Page 45. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashemayim v'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. We rise together for Amidah, page 46.
Adonai, sifatai tivtachu fi aki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chazrei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevei Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atarav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Barachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayei Memunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Keburot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimit Umechayei, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'nei Manata L'Hachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasala. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated, and we'll invite Gabe forward to lead us in the next several prayers.
Days pass and the years vanish, and we talk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we talk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for the holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve and reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha lavadcha, be'yira na'avod.
Gabe, thank you. You're welcome. And we continue on page 56.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael U'tefilatam be'ava tikabel U'tehilel ratzon Tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha Il karov lecha karav penei El avadecha v'chaneinu Shefach ruchacha aleinu V'techezena einenu Meshuvecha leTzion Merachamim Baruch atah Adonai המחזיר שכינתו לציון.
Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. Page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift. O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of every land, and plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki ata Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom Ki ata Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov beinecha levarech Et Amcha Yisrael Bechol heit ubechol shah Bishlomecha Shalom tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam.
The rabbis understood that prayer had meaning, and each prayer, each one of the prayers of our prayer book speaks to us in a different way. Sometimes we are ready to receive that message, sometimes we need a little help, and sometimes the texts of the prayer book are just not enough. And often we have a prayer in our own hearts and in our own minds, and so the rabbis decided that we should take some time, some moments of silent prayer, a moment that doesn't have a blessing or a text for you, but one where you look inward to those prayers in our own hearts and in our own minds. So we take a few moments for silent prayer.
Ratzon imrefi, ratzon imrefi, legion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri v'goli. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, be acceptable before you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom bimrama, say shalom aleinu, v'kol Yisrael, v'yimeru, v'yimeru. Amen.
We take a few moments and turn our hearts and our thoughts to those who need our blessings of healing. We think of all those who are suffering with the COVID-19 virus, their families, their support systems, the medical professionals who work tirelessly to keep us safe and healthy. We think of all those in our hearts and in our family, our friends, our community, who are sick in any kind of way, whether it's an illness of the body, the mind, the heart, the soul. And as we join in this prayer, we help, we direct our thoughts and our positive energies to all those who need it. And we think of Greg Bennett, Michael Byron, Andrea Kempner-Blake, Ruth Bostoff-Coleman, Scott Gordon, Patricia Heibel, Michelle Wolf, Rebecca Gottlieb, Deborah Susan, Josh Whitmershouse, Darlene Sharp, Zachary Jackson, Fred Kern, Carol Love, Dane Marcinowski, Stephanie, Luke, Trey, Abigail, and Charles Nobles, Cheryl Perry, Debbie Perry, Rob Bush, Virko Shervetsky, Riley Olson, Peg Pulowski, Fran Porras, David Renberg, Will Rosenthal, Carl Sion, Martha Snyder, Steve Tottleben, Timothy Tillman, Lorraine Wellington, Gary Williamson, and Matea Press. And if you have other names that you would like to add, please add them into our chat box as we join together in our prayer for healing on page 253.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Just yesterday, we celebrated Yom Ha'atzmaut, or Israel's Independence Day. And so join with me on page 259 as we join in a prayer for the state of Israel. Se'u Shalom Yerushalayim. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Sheba Shamayim Tzur Yisrael v'Goalo Barech et Medinat Yisrael. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there, as we all say, Amen. So, Torah portions. Torah portions have lots and lots of different possible themes, right? Right, Gabe, Rachel, what do you think? Each of your Torah portions is very, very different, right? Gabe, your portion is about Noah. And Rachel? What do you think? It's got a lot of different things to it, right? And the first word says, Bechukotai, right? And what's the first couple words of your portion? Im Bechukotai. What's the next one? Telechu, exactly. If you follow all of the rules, here's how you benefit, right? So yours isn't particularly much like a story, like Gabe's is. Gabe's is a story of Noah and the ark, and we have this drama, but yours isn't that way, which is fair. There are lots of sections of the Torah that are narrative and story-like, and there are lots of sections that are more informative, and they tell us of practices and traditions and guidelines and all of those kinds of things. And this week, we read Tazria Metzora. And if there was ever a portion that a bar bat mitzvah would probably run from, it would be this one. Right? It would be this one because it is filled with the details of what do you do when someone in your community gets sick and you have to care for them. And it goes into some pretty graphic details. Now, usually I also try to avoid speaking on this parsha. Rarely does a rabbi get excited about talking about transmissible disease, right? But where are we now? We are in the midst of this pandemic, and so it's very, very important to talk about. Because thousands of years ago, as our ancestors dealt with disease, they were careful. They were careful to make sure that those who were sick were loved and cared for and treated. And so basically the system was that if you were found to have some kind of disease, you were isolated so that you would not transmit the disease. And after whatever period of time was necessary, when you were healthy, you were welcomed back into the community. And the people were very careful to observe these rules of making sure that everybody was healthy and continued to be that way. Well, we're in the midst of what our ancient ancestors would have assumed would have been some sort of God-given calamity. No, we don't really see it that way. It's not a plague. This isn't the 11th plague that God is bestowing on us. It is a result of the growth and decay cycle of the world, that there is sickness in the world, and the world works in a cycle of growth and decay and renewal over and over. And yet we are in that challenging time of making sure that people are following the guidelines that keep us all safe, whether it has to do with keeping our distances or putting masks on when we need to put masks on, and making sure that we can continue to be safe. But we see a light at the end of the tunnel, right? We see the light as people are becoming more and more people are becoming vaccinated. Unfortunately, the rates, though, of illness don't seem to be going down globally, although they're a little bit down where we are here in Erie, so that's good. And we hope that in the coming month, or another month or so, maybe 2 months actually, another 2 months, month and a half, we'll be able to begin outdoor services. So that by the end of May, so Memorial Day weekend actually, is our first planned outdoor service. So make sure everybody's praying for good weather, and we'll be able to have a beautiful service outside on our patio. If you haven't yet signed up for your vaccine or you're having trouble signing up, please let us know. We have people who are willing and happy to help you with that, and please make sure that we can help in any way that we can. So we hope that you continue to exercise caution and that we are careful, and in that way we are exactly as our ancient ancestors were, in terms of making sure that all those in our community can continue to remain safe. So we are going to continue now with Aleinu on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo asamanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gohor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu notei shamayim ve'oser haaretz, u'moshav yikaron b'shamayim imo, u'shchinatu zo, begovhei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efes zuloto, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and of death. And on this Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeits for Barbara Castleman, Nanette Kossel-Linville, Annie Leah Rosenbaum, Solomon Joel Harris, Henry V. Jacobson, Madeline Marks, Herbert Asherman, Abe Dannerman, Sidney Schuster, Esther Jacobson, Norman Shore, Morris Bernstein, William Levin, Melvin Kerr, Edward Ivan Zaks, Joseph Berenbaum, Tobiah Castleman, Dora Weiner, Joseph L. Lochner, and Rose Kerr. If you have other names that you would like to add, please add them into our chat box as we turn together to the ancient words of Kaddish as we rise and join in Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam u'larmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekutsha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiran b'yalma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Please, you can be seated. We have a few announcements this evening. Services this weekend are in memory of Herbert Asherman, Norman Shore, Edward Ivan Zaks, and Rose and Melvin Kerr. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. This evening, right after services, please join us for our Shabbat Zoom Oneg. The link is posted at the very top of the chat box, and you can just click on that and join us for our opportunity to say hello, kibitz a little bit, share events of the week, and catch up. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., we'll have our usual Shabbat morning Torah study, and hope you'll join us for that. And then on Sunday, we have Gesher. Monday, we have Shamuzing with the president. So Janice will be happy to talk with us around pretty much any topic we want to discuss and think about in terms of temple and all the things that we're doing or things that we could be doing. And then on Tuesday, part of our Talk Amongst Ourselves program, we are featuring a conversation and viewing of a short movie called Jews in Hollywood. Actually, a great opportunity to think about the Jewish community's contributions to the performing arts. So we hope you'll join us for that. There are two other announcements. On Saturday, May 22nd, we have a limited spots and opportunity to help out at the Second Harvest Food Bank. So please hope you'll join us for that. We have a few spots left. So please contact Lisa Tottleben. It's in our weekly announcements. And then on Saturday, May 1st, we have a very, very special opportunity. We are partnering with Congregation Har El in Jerusalem, a Reform synagogue in Jerusalem, actually the first Reform synagogue in Israel, and to celebrate a conversation on Yom Yerushalayim, or Jerusalem Unification Day. And we'll join with the cantor and the rabbi from Har El, who are wonderful, wonderful people, and we'll have some singing and some stories and some reflections, and we'll be able to share with them as well as members of the community of Har El as the two congregations come together in ways that we never thought we could before. But in the days of Zoom, this is certainly possible to share, and because it will be an evening in Israel, we'll join them for Havdalah and our program. So, and now we'll move to our closing song, and we're going to close with Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Yasher koach to Gabe and Rachel, and thank you to Brad, Sophia, and Sabrina for your help, and thank you, Jesse, and we wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.